I spent 135 hours playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I must say that I actually enjoyed my time. Now, I must also be honest. Around the 70-hour mark, around chapter 8 or 9, I started to lose interest in this game. But the game did something clever. They put Animal Crossing as a side game, and that was actually enough to suck me back in, because I love Animal Crossing, and catapult me towards finishing the game. And it worked. And I'm glad I finished it because I had a good time during the ending sequence. The game is kind of long, but I think it's worth it. Welcome to my studio. My name is Jabu. I'm a lifelong artist, lifelong gamer that loves to talk about the visuals in games. So the art that you see being made over to the right is actually what I'm currently working on. So if you'd like to see the completion of this painting, please continue to watch my videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that in every video, like and subscribe, because I forget to like and subscribe most videos that I watch. So like and subscribe. Here are the things that I like the most about the visuals in this game. Off tops, the combat. I love the visuals within the combat. In fact, my last video was about the visuals within the combat. I actually feel like the combat is probably the main thing that kept pulling me back to the game. I love how you can attack enemy weaknesses. I think that's a fantastic thing. I appreciate how distinct each character class feels. And I love that you can carry skills over from one class to the next. It adds a nice flavor to the combat. The visuals in the combat, yes, admittedly they can get repetitive, but I think the game has a lot in it. So from just doing basic moves, you feel very powerful. And I think that is because of the very brawlic nature of the Yakuza series. So of course punches are gonna feel heavy and impactful. Like some moves in the game, I just felt like I was like actually beating ass. Like I was actually brawling, and that was really good. But admittedly, after a while, you get tired of seeing the same animations play out over and over and over. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to stop you from finishing the game. It may very well be, because it kind of happened to me. I think my favorite thing about the combat is actually the summons. I just really loved the summons. The pound mates, I feel like, most of the time I didn't skip the actual summoning sequence. At least for the more expensive pound mates. I actually think that the summons are probably some of the most off-the-wall, zany things that this game has to showcase. I wish they actually went further with the summons, because I ended up getting a lot of summons like way later in the game after finishing a bunch of side quests. And I think they should incorporate the pound mates more in the next entry. I also like the tag team moves. I think they're really cool. Ultimate moves are also very good. One of my favorite characters is in fact Namba. I feel like seeing Namba like ride on top of pigeons and spew out toxic fumes was very epic. The guy's starting class is literally homeless guy. And I like the fact that this dev team actually leaned hard into that. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I like everyone's starting class. Kasuga, being a freelancer, looks like he doesn't quite know how to fight. He doesn't know what to do. He looks unsteady and unsure. And I like the fact that that's actually embedded in his moveset for that class. The majority of the game I played the hero class as Kasuga. And even in that class, he's confident, he's standing upright, he has a bat on his back. I like that stance, I think it looks badass. And a lot of the moves adhere to this. And I think that is a very powerful visual element that they captured pretty well. Those final moves, ultimate moves, feel ultimate for that character, no matter the class. Another thing that I really appreciate about the visuals in this game, and this is gonna sound very weird, I love and hate the graphical fidelity in this game at the same time. But I'm gonna talk about why I love it first. I love it because it felt very nostalgic. It felt very nostalgic because the game, in my opinion, looks more like a PS4 game. So it brought me back to that era. It also brought me back to the Sega Saturn era and the Sega Genesis era. While you're walking around in this game, you have the opportunity to actually play arcade machines. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a little hooked to Sega's bass fishing. I thought it was fun. And honestly, I love fishing in games. I don't like fishing in real life, but I love fishing in games. So I played it for a good 4 or 5 hours. And it felt great because it felt like I was in the arcade playing an old Sega classic. Alongside playing Infinite Wealth, I was also playing Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. And you guys will see a couple videos for that very soon. So because I was playing both of these games at the same time, I decided to go and get the Sega Genesis Classic Collection for the PS4 just to play one game. That was Shinobi 3. And I'm currently still playing Shinobi 3, even though I already finished Art of Vengeance. I appreciate how Infinite Wealth made me realize why I was a Sega fan in the first place. Even though I don't play as many Sega titles nowadays, I really appreciate seeing them take pride in that legacy. So I've aged with the series, if you will, and it feels good. The last and final thing that I absolutely love about the visuals in this game, I feel like I'm being hypocritical when I say I absolutely love the visuals in this game, but that's just how I tend to do these videos. The last thing that I loved and hated about the game in terms of visuals is actually the environments. Okay, so let me just get the bad out the way. Yes, the environmental lighting looks very flat. Textures look very dull. Character animations do look board-like and stiff. However, this game has a lot of heart, and I feel like the heart shines through in the level of detail that Sega crams into all of the environments. So even though, okay, the curtains on the wall look like shimmering plastic, and the shirt that Kasuga wears, his Hawaiian shirt, looks like it's literally made of cardboard, I can see a lot of passion rendered in these environments. So there are times when I would go into a store or a restaurant or eatery and I would pan the camera around just to take in how the restaurant looks. And honestly, I feel like they did a really good job flushing out how Japan is supposed to look. Now, the other area, the other environment is actually Hawaii. And honestly, that is one of the things that I was mostly hyped about before playing this game. And that is because Hawaii has played a pretty significant role in my life, especially my adult life. My honeymoon was in Hawaii. We decided to not do a wedding. My wife and I, we took 14 days on the beautiful island of Maui. And it was almost life-changing for me. I'm not even gonna lie. It was almost life-changing because the place is so beautiful. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And I've been quite a few places and I've never quite witnessed beauty, like natural beauty, to that significance. So I've been to all the accessible islands in Hawaii and I love every single one of them. So the fact that we got to experience Honolulu in this game, it really put a big smile on my face. Like, I knew the game took place in Hawaii, but I wasn't expecting to like be thrown into like reminiscing about my time there. And I think it's because they use actual stores that I experienced in real life, like the ABC store. I was shocked to see the ABC store in the game. So to go inside of an ABC store here, it warmed my heart, honestly. It warmed my heart. Another place that I have mixed feelings about because I actually ended up getting food poisoning, like really bad food poisoning from this area, was actually the Honolulu Mall, which is a beautiful, beautiful mall. And I remember walking around that mall, getting bubble tea with my daughters, and it felt really badass running around that same mall with Kasuga and crew. You know, of course it's better experienced in real life, but I feel like the game did a very good job of replicating Hawaii, even with its low fidelity style graphics. I think the place actually felt like Hawaii, which is a good thing. So shout out to Hawaii. I'm actually wearing my Hawaiian beads, my koi beads, and I tend to wear them all the time. But shout out to everyone from Hawaii. And shout out to RGG for putting that in the game. With all of that being said, here are a few things that I want to say nitpicks, but they're bigger than nitpicks at this point. I think they're actually kind of issues. Okay, so the graphical fidelity, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is not the best, right? However, I do feel like the lower quality graphics somehow adds to the hilariousness of the game. And this actually grew on me over time. I thought certain enemies looked so bad, I couldn't help but laugh at them. And I couldn't figure out if this was intentional by RGG or it was just a limitation of what they could do. So I read that Yakuza doesn't sell nowhere near as much as like Sonic and their other franchises. So it might be a limitation. It might be a limitation. Here's the reason why I feel like it might be more of a limitation than an actual choice. I downloaded The Man Who Erased His Name on PSN, and I noticed a jump in the graphical fidelity in that game. And I'm wondering if it was made after Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I think it is. I'm not too familiar with the releases, but I wish this game looked like that game. You know, so I just want like a little bit more graphical pizzazz, if you will. So the next thing that I loved / kind of hated about the game was actually the cutscenes. So initially I wanted to put the cutscenes as something I absolutely loved. But I remembered certain cutscenes, narrative cutscenes, especially side quest cutscenes, that really pulled me out of the experience because the range of visual fidelity was so large that it almost feels like multiple development teams were working on various parts of the game. This is also evident by the voice acting. So I know the game's protagonist is inspired by Dragon Quest, so some lines are not voice acted. They're kind of bleeped, like beep, 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 while the character is talking. And I don't mind that, but I am actually a fan of the voice acting. Even though some of it is over the top, it does feel a bit inconsistent when a large portion of your game is voiced. Meanwhile, a lot of segments of your game is unvoiced. And that's not to say that it's a major deal, but like the voice acting, certain cutscenes, especially the side quest cutscenes, they just dragged for me. They just dragged on and on for me. And honestly, some of them are very boring, to be completely honest. And on the flip side, there are certain moments in this game where the cutscenes just shine. There are certain like heavy moments where things are happening and you're like, man, this is really good. It's intense. I feel the emotion. I feel immersed. I am attached to what's going on. So when that is paired up with cutscenes that don't look as good, that can really pull you out of the game. Unfortunately, it really dampens those high points for me. And this was something that I grappled with my entire time while playing this game. So and I'm still mixed about it. And I feel like that is probably because I do want another entry. I want it to be better. I just want it to be better. My final take when it comes to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So ironically, this game just went on PSN Plus, and I'm very happy that it did. I know a lot of you guys have PSN, and I would say definitely download and try this game. If you don't have PSN, I found this game for $15 on Amazon, and I've seen it discounted heavily in a lot of places. I know a lot of people say gaming is expensive. I feel like people who complain about that forget the fact that we have hundreds of games that are constantly heavily discounted and are very affordable. That being said, I think you should play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I feel like you should give it a shot. And you may not finish this game because it's long, but I am no stranger to long games. I am no stranger. So to wrap this up, I like Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Not as much as Like a Dragon though. I think Like a Dragon is slightly stronger. I do like the gameplay better in Infinite Wealth, but I think the story is stronger and feels tighter in Like a Dragon. I think Infinite Wealth kind of drags at certain moments. However, I still think you should give the game a shot. For those of you who already forgot who I am, my name is Jabulani Ori, aka Jabu. If you're interested in seeing my work, you can simply click the shop link below and it will take you to my website. If you don't feel like clicking on a product below, my website is simply jahbu.com, jahbu.com. If you are on social media, predominantly Instagram, you can find me under the handle Jahbu_art, JAHBU_ART. I am working on dropping some t-shirts. The art that you witness being made in this video is actually the first in that line. Let me know what you guys think. I love hearing what you guys think. Anyway, until next time, my wonderful, beautiful people, one love, peace.